Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Climate change is no longer a distant threat. It is reshaping lives and economies, especially in fragile ecosystems like Nelson's Dockyard National Park. We know this. So today we're joined by Britney McDonald and Kieron Murdoch from the Integrated Health Outreach to talk about their just concluded EcoTourism Workshop and how it's equipping residents with the tools to protect their heritage and future. Okay, because we woke up this morning and we heard that noise, that loud thundering noise and lightning and that strong rain. So now I'm going to ask them this first question and say good morning to them. What were the main takeaways from Saturday's EcoTourism Workshop and how did participants respond? Good morning, lady and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, so you heard the question, so let's get right into it.
Yes, definitely. So we had a full room at the John St. Louis Center for the Ecotourism Workshop. It was catering to persons who live, reside, work within the Nelson's Dockyard National Park area, or who plan to have businesses. Many persons in Antigua and Barbuda have a second job, want to open a small business to supplement their livelihood, and this was a perfect opportunity for them to engage. It's under a broader project that has been going on for the last 2 years, and Integrated Health Outreach has been leading the charge, implementing it here in Antigua and Barbuda, but it's a regional project that's doing work in Jamaica as well as in the Dominican Republic.
So why is it important for us to focus on the communities around Nelson Dockyard?
So this is a marine protected area, and it's a mixed use space. So you have residential communities, you also have businesses that are operating there. And so being in that area, the ecosystem itself is so dynamic. And we have wetland spaces as well as marine spaces that are being used. So we have land-based ecosystems with our wetlands. And so these help us overall in terms of our environment and the benefits that we use. Because, for example, during COVID-19, persons would have gone fishing as well and used that space for their livelihood, but also to consume, right? To have food to eat, to share with their families. So it's very important for that reason, but other reasons as well.
All right, let me go over to Kieron with this next question. We always talk about the importance of youth involvement, and did the workshop attract young participants? If yes, what stood out about their engagement?
Well, it did indeed, and that was something that was part of our outreach when we would have put it out there saying that this workshop was taking place, that we did want to have younger persons, persons who maybe are interested, as Britney would have said earlier, having a second line of income, starting something new, or simply broadening their horizons and developing their skills and so on, as it relates to tourism. I mean, tourism is our mainstay, and blending that with the whole concept of sustainability and eco-friendliness is, I think, an absolute necessity. But we did have quite a few young people in the room, and thankfully our context of young still goes up into 30, 35. Still young. But we had persons in their 20s. We had persons even younger than that, I think, because we would have had, I think, parents who would have brought along maybe elder teenagers and so on to take part in the workshop. And I think the thing that stood out for me the most was how much people actually know. I think we live in an age where we talk a lot more about ecosystems, we talk a lot more about climate change, we talk a lot more about the environment. So it's not so much a situation where you're necessarily introducing persons to things for the very first time. You have the opportunity to get into it more into detail, but it's wonderful to see that there is a genuine awareness and sometimes a desire even to be a part of advocacy in terms of making sure that we continue to prioritize sustainability as we develop our tourism product.
Hey bro, they're living it. They're living out there, they live it, so they will see and feel the change. Now, when we're talking about Nelson Dockyard, we're talking about the cultural heritage and conservation. So I know those were the core themes. So how did you approach these in the way that relevant and actionable, especially for the attendees?
Well, I think the approach of the workshop was multifaceted. In terms of cultural heritage preservation, that is a major element when we speak about ecotourism. And I will say that this workshop actually built on ecotourism courses which we have done, which had a number of participants who were with us for several weeks. I shouldn't say several weeks, more than several weeks, in fact, quite some time, in terms of building their skills and their knowledge. Cultural heritage preservation is one aspect of what we went into, and that is very important. We also spoke about waste management, effective waste management. We spoke about green procurement. We spoke about the impact of the different activities that we do and the carbon impact of it, you know, in terms of us being conscious of how we run our businesses, what we do, what actions we take, how we procure things, and what sort of carbon footprint that leaves. Of course, coming from that perspective of if we all make it our business to be a little bit better in how we engage with our environment and our ecosystem, then that is what will make the difference.
Well, it starts with us and not the politician. Now, Britney, this one is for you. This isn't the first activity under the EBA Caribbean project. How does this workshop fit into the broader mission of building climate resilience and sustainable livelihoods?
Yes, so as I would have started, we have been active for over 2 years already, and it started with doing vulnerability assessments and getting feedback from the community. So we're not solely doing ecotourism because we as IHO have decided it. It's the community that said we want to do ecotourism, we want to do beekeeping, and so we're pushing forward with those livelihoods because the community has said that this is something of importance. And tying into what Kieron has shared in terms of cultural preservation, it also means that we have to preserve our common areas, right? So for example, if you have to pay $1 for the bathroom, that's going towards cleaning services to ensure that you have a safe space and that persons aren't littering or not using the space in a correct way, right? And so these are some of the changes that we have to understand are going to take place over time. And of course, the National Parks Authority does its own community engagement as well. But these are some of the things that we as business owners would have to share with persons coming to our island so that they understand why these changes are coming into effect so that they can be sustainable. Mm-hmm. And it's also us making sure that they understand the connection between their human behavior and activities that they're doing, as well as how that impacts those natural resources.
So what are some of the practical changes or projects you hope the participants will now implement in their communities or businesses?
Yes, definitely. So a component of the 12 weeks has been action planning. So we would have shared information, education with them, and they would have decided, what can I do? What can I do right now? What would I like to do in the 3 years or 5 years after this project is complete? And so it's been really dynamic in the range. A lot of businesses have looked at renewable energy sources, such as solar power, as well as looking at water conservation and filtration processes as well. And thinking about how can they do more education. So some have thought of various ways to ensure that persons who are visiting our island get more in depth with the education. So looking at, for example, observatories and how they can be a part of nature but not interact with it directly so that they could cause it harm.
Listen, Kieron, how can folks, because I'm hearing the talks, oh, when was this? I missed this. I didn't get this. So how can people who miss the workshop stay connected or get involved with IHO's work going forward?
Well, I would encourage them to just do a Google search. If you search us, you'll get our website, integratedhealthoutreach.com. And our page for this project is actually, I think, rather up to date in terms of the different activities that we've done. It gives a broad and general overview, and you'll get a sense of, and even in the picture gallery and so on, a sense of the ecotourism workshop, the ecotourism courses, the beekeeping courses that we have done, and of course other activities which have been done. Of course, this is not the first time we've been here on ABS discussing this project. Yes, exactly.
It's a staple.
You know,
and just if I can piggyback on what Kieron is saying as well, we will have some supplemental business courses and field training that persons would be able to participate in. So we will make that known on our website and on our Facebook, IHO_AB. And this is another opportunity for persons within the community and in the buffer zones, because we have some surrounding areas such as John Hughes, Cades Bay that are also included. They can participate and get involved as well, because we want for the entire community, and we're building more of a cohort type mission so that they're networking, they know what's going on, they know who is working alongside them for this sustainability effort as well. So that's another opportunity that we have upcoming.
And listen, guys, thank y'all for being here. And I know the other folks who are living on the coastline and in any areas outside of the same areas you're talking about are waiting.
Yes,
are waiting
definitely.
for the IHO to get to them.
Awesome.
All right, keep doing the good work that y'all are doing. Keep it up. Remember, you're a staple here, so whenever you're ready, we're here for you guys.
Thank you so much.
All right, let me say thank you to Britney and Kieron. Thank you for sharing this impact and the importance of this workshop. And when you hear IHO coming to your area and they say they're doing anything, yeah, get up, go out and ask questions. Be nosy. And be nosy. Stay with us. We got more coming up right after this on Antigua and Barbuda today.